All right, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Texas Independence Day. It is the 188th edition. Texas became independent from Mexico exactly 188 years ago today. That's funny, there's 59, signed by 59 delegates. We'll touch on 59 later. But anyways, I wanted to start out with how I kind of came to realize that Texas was founded by Jesuits and is continued to be operated by the Jesuits. When I first moved to Austin about 2.5 years ago, part of my job was to figure out where students at the University of Texas lived, and I kept seeing 201 21st Street pop up, and I knew this. I knew the importance of 201, the Jesuit Order 201. So I knew about that, and I kept seeing 201 21st Street. I'm like, okay, what is it with 201 21st Street? And I found out it was a dorm, Jester dorm, on the campus of UT. And then I found out it's named after Beaufort Jester. And if you see here, Beaufort Jester is the only Texas governor to die in office. And he died at the age of 56. And he died in Houston, well, he was found dead in Houston. We'll touch upon that later. But just look at how suspect his death is, if it talks about it somewhere. Where does he even talk? Do they not talk about his death anymore? Okay, here it is. Yeah, here it is. He is the only Texas governor to have died in office. He died unexpectedly of a heart attack on the train. Come on, do you think someone may have slipped something into his drink, maybe? I can't. I know I have. Okay. What I'll do here is I'll play this video that I made almost exactly a year ago today.
Dr. Drew and my wife Susan here, we want to show you something.
This is what just 10 pounds of body fat looks like.
Give the ad. Let's go back to the beginning.
Friends would walk up to me and just be like, "What the f is in your mug?" And I would just tell them,
in this video, I'm going to show you through gematria and numerology how the state of Texas is clearly controlled by the Jesuits. First, let's start with some history. The Republic of Texas officially declared independence from Mexico on March 2nd, 1836. This date can be written as 3/2. There are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Lone Star, the state's nickname, equals 32. America equals 32, and the Declaration was signed at Washington on the Brazos, named after America's first president. Brazos River equals 153, 144, and 72, like Jesuit order. 4 days later, the Battle of the Alamo officially concluded on March 6th, the 66th day of that year. Texas equals 66, and William B. Travis, for whom Travis County is named after, died that day at the age of 26, and Travis equals 26. The Battle of the Alamo took place in San Antonio, Texas, which equals 191 and 56, like Society of Jesus. Sam Houston became the first president of Texas, and he happens to share the same birthday as the Republic, born 43 years before its independence. Society of Jesus equals 191, the 43rd prime. His last name, Houston, equals 112, and the Jesuits are known to operate in 112 countries. Lone Star also equals 112. The city of Houston, named after Sam Houston, was Texas's first permanent capital. On January 19th, 1839, the capital was moved to what was then known as Waterloo. This date can be written as 19/1, and Society of Jesus again equals 191. This date had 32 numerology. It also had 17-date numerology in tribute to Freemasonry. There we go, 59. I was just talking about 59 just a minute ago. Texas Declaration of Independence signed by 59 delegates. The president at the time was Mirabeau, date numerology 91. This date had 32 numerology. It also had 17-date numerology. And 59 is the 17th prime. That's probably why I got it confused when I was writing the script. In tribute to Freemasonry. The president at the time was Mirabeau B. Lamar, whose name equals 54, just like Jesuit order. Later that year, Waterloo was renamed to Austin in honor of Stephen F. Austin, the so-called Father of Texas. Stephen F. Austin equals 177 and 201, just like the Jesuit order. Austin was heavily involved in Freemasonry, and if you haven't heard about myself and others talk about the close relationship between the Jesuits and the Freemasons, then you should look into that. Austin also equals Jesuit in all four base ciphers. 6 years later, Texas officially joined the United States of America on December 29, 1845. This date can be written as 12/29. 1229 is the 201st prime number, and remember, the Jesuit order equals 201. Later that century, the University of Texas opened, and their sports teams would be known as the Longhorns. Well, Texas Longhorns equals 191 and 187, just like Society of Jesus. Now, Texas has had 48 governors since becoming a state, but for time's sake, I'm only going to talk about a few of them. Funny enough, governor of Texas equals 201. The first one I want to talk about is the 36th governor, Beaufort H. Chester. He was born on January 12, 1893, a date that's written 1/12, and he became the 36th governor on 43 date numerology, when Texas Longhorns and Society of Jesus equal 191, the 43rd prime, at the age of 54. Chester is the only Texas governor to die in office, as he died on a train in Houston, which equals one. The only Texas governor to die in office, as he died.
All right, so what do they say here? Beaufort Chester, the last happy man to govern Texas, boarded a midnight sleeper in Austin on the 11th of July, 1949. As usual, the governor bedded down in his opulent three-berth suite at the rear of the train. According to political legend, he suffered a heart attack and died in the arms of his mistress, who was discreetly led off the train in Bryan. The governor, dead and now alone, resumed his journey. So, come on, what do you think happened? Think maybe his mistress may have given him something, maybe someone else, his butler or something may have given him something. Let me find out see if I can find that page in here. Couldn't make it click here to view the full page. Well, it's blocked by an ad. That was not the case when I made that video a year ago. That's a shame. Well, so it's just blocked by an ad. That's unfortunate. Okay, here it's not blocked by an ad. Okay. He was traveling across the state. Now he was dead and left on the train for a surprised porter to discover in the Houston station. At 8:15 that morning, a porter broke the news to Lieutenant Governor Alan Shivers. Let's just check real quick. I just want to see what so he was born on, 112. I want to see how many days after his birthday. Dead on 86 and 67 date numerology. If that's the case, let me just confirm that that's when Beaufort H. Chester died. It was July 11th, 1949. Yep, here it is. So that was 86 and 60 and 32 date numerology. How about that? But anyways, 86, 67 date numerology. Oh no, sorry, it's is it ritual no, maybe it's blood sacrifice? I can't remember. Yeah, there is blood sacrifice. 67, 86. Dead on 86 and 67 date numerology, or at least found dead that day. And also 41 date numerology, replaced by the 41-year-old Alan Shivers or Shivers. Not until his next birthday. Yeah, in 26 weeks and 3 days until his next birthday, 263 is the 56th prime, dead at age 56. So 6 months and 1 day. 61's the 18th prime, like IHS.
On a train in Houston, which equals 112, at the age of 56. He also died 26 weeks and 3 days before his upcoming birthday, and 263 is the 56th prime. In commemoration, the University of Texas built a dorm in his honor, which at one point was the largest college dorm in
I get 3,200 students. So does it still say that here? Yep, 3,200 students. Dead on 32 date numerology. 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Texas became independent on 3/2. Not an accident.
world. Its address is 201 East 21st Street, but for some reason I don't think any of the students there know the symbolism of those numbers. By the way, the UT system currently has a budget of $20.1 billion.
I actually do just want to point out, I was checking this the other day. That number has since been changed to 26.1 billion. That probably is something I'll talk about later in this live stream. It's probably because Stephen F. Austin State University just joined the system, or maybe there's something else. But anyways, that number has since changed. I don't know what the significance of 261 is, though, but moving on.
201. Chester deserves an entire video on his own, but this is the most pertinent information. The second one I want to talk about is the 43rd governor, Mark White. I already touched on his parallels with current Governor Greg Abbott in my video last year, which you can watch here. White became the 43rd governor 58 days before his 43rd birthday. Freemasonry equals 58, and we already touched on 191 being the 43rd prime. Speaking of his birthday, it's March 17th, written as 3/17, and 317 is the 66th prime, like Texas. Furthermore, he died 20 weeks and 1 day after his birthday at the age of 77 in Houston, which equals 77. Next, the 40th
And also
age of
another
77.
thing that I realized later about Mark White. So you see there, he died. He was the 43rd governor, right? 43rd governor, dead in Houston. And he's dead on 8/5. So let's just go here. 8/5/2017. And now let's look at the 2017 World Series. This is the 113th edition, and it started on October 24th. So you see that was 11 weeks and 3 days. So he's dead in Houston 11 weeks and 3 days before the start of the 113th World Series. And he was the 43rd governor, just to show you again. 43rd governor. And then Houston ends up winning that World Series 4-3. Come on. These, if this wasn't on YouTube, I'd have different words to say about these people who run these scripts.
7 in Houston, which equals 77. Next, the 46th governor and future U.S. President George W. Bush. Bush was born on July 6th, the 187th day of the year, like Society of Jesus. His full name equals 177, like the Jesuit order. In his second term as governor, He won the U.S. presidential election to become the 43rd president of our country, while his brother Jeb was the 43rd governor of Florida at the time. By the way, the U.S. president is inaugurated on the 20th of January, a date that can be written as 20/1, like 201. The governor of Texas is sworn in on the third Tuesday of January, which is often the 20th of January. And that leads me to current Governor Greg Abbott. I already made a video on him, so I'll keep it simple. He was sworn in as governor on January 20th. His name equals 43, like the time of the incident that left him paralyzed from the waist down at the time of the 43rd governor. His name equals 56, like Society of Jesus, and his full name equals 263, the 56th prime. He was born on the 317th day of the year, the 66th prime, like Texas. I've talked about the governors, but what about the sports? After all, my channel is mostly focused around sports. Earlier, I talked about how Lone Star, the state's nickname, equals 32. Well, there are 4 teams with star symbols.
Okay, so this video, I made this video basically 365 days ago, and at the time, I didn't realize that this 32 theme that I'm about to talk about, at the time, I thought it only applied to teams that had stars in their logos. But since then, I've realized it actually applies to every team you see in this picture. And that's going to lead me to if I can find it here, we'll pull up this video.
Won the World Series 12 days before.
And we're going to go to Texas in 32.
Texas Independence Day is 3/2. Lone Star equals 32, and there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. The Cowboys' first Super Bowl victory came in Roger Staubach's 32nd career game played. The Stars' first and only Stanley Cup championship came in their 32nd season. The Spurs' first NBA championship came in their 32nd season as well. The Rockets' first NBA.
And also something about the Spurs, which let me go back to here, I guess. If I can find it. Yeah, right. So that was the Spurs actually originated in Dallas. When they were in the ABA, and so this was the 32nd season overall. And then let me just play this here.
Franchise's 32nd season, and later won their third championship in their 32nd season in San Antonio.
And third championship in their 32nd season. 3 equals 56, just like Society of Jesus. That was in my, where is it? This video here, that was 3 being 56. That was like the main theme, because, see if I can remember them all at the top of my head, but I think you had Georgia winning their 3rd national championship, and you had the Rams winning the Super Bowl by 3 points. And then you had Kansas basketball winning the championship by 3 points. And you had the 3 seed, who was it? No, that's right. It was the 3 seed Warriors won the NBA championship. You had the 3 seed Ole Miss won the College World Series. You had the Avalanche win their 3rd championship. And then you had the, what was it? Then you had the Astros winning on the day leaving 56 days. Astros winning the World Series on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Did I talk about anything else? Yeah, I think let me just continue this video here, because there's a bit that I talk about that I do not talk about in here.
Oh wait, I almost forgot about the Houston Texans. They are the NFL's 32nd franchise, and they entered the league 32 years after the completion of the AFL-NFL merger. Last year, Texas whooped Baylor 20-1 on the 112th day of the year in a regular season college baseball game. And that day also had 32-day numerology. Texas quarterback Arch Manning committed to UT on the day leaving 191 days left in the year. There's so much more that I could talk about.
Okay. I now want to continue with this video here.
The Spurs' first NBA championship came in their 32nd season as well. The Rockets' first NBA championship came when Hakeem Olajuwon was 31, meaning he was in his 32nd year of life. They won the 94 finals on Clyde Drexler's 32nd birthday, and although he wasn't on the Rockets yet, it set the stage for the next season when he was on the team, when he and a 32-year-old Olajuwon led the Rockets to their 2nd title. The Mavericks won their first and only.
And also just when the Rockets won their 2 titles when Hakeem Olajuwon was 31 and 32 years old. Houston 31 and 32. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more today.
NBA championship led by a 32-year-old Dirk Nowitzki. The first Super Bowl to be played in the state of Texas was won by the Dolphins, who capped off a 2-year stretch of going 32-2. More on that by the Dolphins.
Here's another third. Oh.
Nowitzki.
Yeah, and 31 combined points in the first Super Bowl in Houston. 31.
The first Super Bowl to be played in the state of Texas was won by the Dolphins, who capped off a 2-year stretch of going 32-2.
There's another 32.
Funny enough, this was the first ever Super Bowl in Houston, played on 1/13, and the Astros' first World Series championship came in the 113th edition. Speaking of the Astros,
yeah, here's another 31-32. So here's this screenshot is showing that the Astros got their first ever World Series game win was their 32nd playoff win, which means they entered that World Series with 31 playoff wins. And yet again, Houston 31 and 32. And there's something else that I wanted to mention, which now I forget. But let me see. Oh, in regards to, I'll talk about this a little bit more, but Texas equals 30. And 113 is the 30th prime. The first ever World Series that a Texas team won was the 113th World Series. You have Interstate 30 going right through Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you look up the Houston coordinates, now it is still 29 degrees north, but it's closer to the 30th degree, the 30th parallel north. Like if you look up the Houston airport, it's basically right on the 30th parallel, or not 30th. It is 30th parallel. It's basically right on the 30th parallel. So 113, 30, that makes sense. I'll talk about this. There's a little bit more with 30, and that I'll talk about in a little bit.
Championship came in the 113th edition. Speaking of the Astros, there's no 32 connection that stands out with their first World Series championship, but they did win it in their 56th season, and then they won their second championship on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. The first Super Bowl to be played at what is now NRG Stadium was won by the Patriots with 32 points.
Yeah, so there you go. The first Super Bowl in Houston has 31 points. The second, let me go back to Houston. First Super Bowl in Houston has 31 combined points. The second Super Bowl in Houston is won with 32 points on the 32nd day of the year.
On the 32nd day of the year. The Rangers won the World Series by picking up their 32nd all-time win against the Diamondbacks, where 32-year-old Mitch Garver hit the game-winning RBI. Adolis Garcia was born on 3/2. He hit the walk-off home run in Game 1, 239 days after his birthday, which is the 52nd prime, and the Rangers are in their 52nd season in Texas, to win the game 6-5 on the day, leaving 65 days left in the year. Corey Seager won World Series MVP, who 3 years earlier won the same award when he led the Dodgers to their first World Series title in 32 years at the Rangers ballpark.
And also, just another thing about that. Search Tampa Bay Rays. And there you go. So they used to be the Devil Rays, but then they changed to the Rays to refer to Rays of Sunshine. And we're talking about 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. That Dodgers snap a 32-year drought. And also if I just search Dallas coordinates, and Dallas is on the 32nd. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Arlington are all on the it's closer to the 33rd, but it's still 32. It's still 32, 32nd parallel north. Oh, actually, what else do I need? Let me see if anyone's in the chat. Nobody's in the chat today, but that's okay. If you want to watch it later, you can. What I was going to talk about with Texas in 30 is that see if I can find it here. Here we go. So last here.
Like how the Rangers went 11-0 on the road these playoffs. The Cowboys' last Super Bowl victory and appearance came in the NFL's 76th season, like how the Rangers finished the season with 76 losses. This game was also played in Arizona, like how
Right, so
how the Rangers finished the season with 76 losses. This game was
right, that was the last Super Bowl that a Texas team was in was Super Bowl 30. And I was just talking about Texas is 30. And so if I just pull up a map of here you got Interstate 30 right here. See Interstate 30? Yep, there's Interstate 30, goes right by the Cowboys and Rangers Stadium. And back to thinking about what the best way to how to just so let's here we go to sorry, I'm thinking about how to the best way to show this. Let's go to StatMuse. Here, and we'll pull up Adolis Garcia. So as we were just talking about, he was born on 3/2. Now, Texas became independent in 1836. Do 1993 minus 1836 is 157. Okay? Why is 157 important? Because 157 is the 37th prime number, and Rangers is 37. And you have the guy who won the All-Texas ALCS, born on Texas Independence Day, and the Texas Rangers playoff record before. So I know it started on October 27th, so I'll just do before October 27th, 2023. What did they say? Right, so the Rangers wrapped up that ALCS just a few months ago by getting their 30th playoff win in the All Texas ALCS. And he's 30, he just turned 31 today, but last year he was 30. And you have the 30-year-old Adolis Garcia leading the Rangers to their 30th playoff win against the other Texas team, and he wins Series MVP, and he's born on Texas Independence Day. I mean, and he was literally born on the proper Texas Independence Day for the role he played. I mean, he's born for the script. And then, does it say when he got injured? Right, so then Garcia suffered a strained right oblique at the end of Game 3 and missed the final 2 games of the series. We already talked about the Rangers got 34. Rangers now have 34 playoff wins. So if we do, he got injured on October 30th. So if we do the Rangers playoff record before October 31st, that means he got injured in their 32nd playoff win. I mean, these people who make the scripts, they're very obsessed with numbers, these numerical rituals, and almost none of us see it. In this video, I do want to go, no, not that. Wait, no, sorry, it is this video. I want to go back to Stephen F. Austin because there's some stuff that I did not notice about him back in this video that I did notice, and it did play a major role in the Rangers winning the World Series. And it kind of makes me wonder if this stuff is scripted not only like decades in advance, but maybe centuries in advance. I'll show you.
Stephen F. Austin is known as the Father of Texas, so much that the state capital is named after him. Father of Texas equals 68, and the AL now has 68 World Series championships. His name also equals 58, like Freemasonry, and he was born on the day leaving 58 days left in the year, and the Rangers won it all 58 days before the anniversary of Texas becoming a state. Stephen F. Austin equals 177 and 201. Stephen F. Austin State University joined the UT system on May 10, 2023, a date with 58 numerology, which was 177 days before his birthday. And the UT system currently has a $2.01 billion budget, and Texas has been a state for 177 years. He died a span of 66 days before Texas Independence Day, and Texas equals 66. Texas became a state on 12/29, the 201st prime number, 56 days after what would have been Austin's 52nd birthday, and this was the Rangers' 52nd season in Texas. The Rangers won it all 56 days before the 187th anniversary of his death. He was part of Lodge 111, and the Rangers won it all on 11/1 by a score of 5-0. Arizona has been a state for 111 years. He would have been 229 years old if still alive, and 229 is the 50th prime number. The Rangers picked up their 34th playoff win, and Freemasonry equals 139, the 34th prime. The victory...
Right, and I had talked about here how Stephen F. Austin was really big into Freemasonry. Here we go. Where's the screenshot?
Father of Texas. Stephen F. Austin equals 177 and 201, just like the Jesuit order. Austin was
heavily into Freemasonry, right there. It's on his Wikipedia page. Right, and then they had the World Series parade on his birthday, like, and here
parade was held on his birthday.
One more thing.
The Rangers picked up the alive for 101/1, part of Lodge 111.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. Let me go back. Let me go to Stephen F. Austin's Wikipedia page. Well, no, I don't want. I want him. I don't want. Here it is. Okay. Search. So Stephen F. Austin created the, I guess, the group, or the whatever you want to call it. He created the, I don't know what the term for it is, but he created the group that later evolved into the Texas Rangers. And then when the Texas Rangers baseball team finally wins their first World Series, they hold the parade on his birthday. Like, was baseball even a sport in... Baseball even exist in, like, the 1830s? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, here it is. It's still there. He's big into Freemasonry. And as I said, he was, even though he was dead at the time, he went to, even though he's dead at the time, Texas became a state. You know, there's 50, he died, Texas became a state 56 days after what would have been his birthday. And then the thing is with Sam Houston, actually, I'll talk about the Houston Texans for a little bit. Right, so their first ever game Well, let me just look up Houston Texans first ever game. Is there a way that I can like actually see the... Here we go. So it's the Texans beat the Cowboys in state rivalry 19-10. All right, we were just talking about 191. Society of Jesus 191. And Sam, if I can spell his name right, Samuel Houston. Maybe it's not Samuel. Maybe I'm misremembering. There was something about Sam Houston in 191, but maybe I can't. Oh, I remember now. The thing is with Sam Houston and 191 was that it was that Texas became a state. No, Texas became independent on his 43rd birthday. That's what it was. Texas became independent from Mexico on his 43rd birthday. 191 is the 43rd prime. Let's look at when Samuel Houston died. It was July 26th, 1863. Hold on. And also another thing, Samuel Houston, 69. Texas is also 69. Just like the Society of Jesus 60. No, it's Jesuit Order. No, it's not. Is it the Jesuit Order? I can't remember now. There it is. The Jesuit Order 69. You get all the names of the Society of Jesus mixed up every once in a while. But anyway, 69. The Rangers just if we look up Texas Rangers playoff record, 34-35. So they won the World Series in their 69th playoff game. And there's this big project that's going on involving the state of Texas. You have Interstate 69, and it really doesn't make much sense. Like if you look at it on a map, like you could say the stretch between, like it already went between Detroit and Indianapolis, but now they're trying to extend it all the way down to here, and it's kind of in bits and pieces. As you see, I guess the red is what they've already built, and the pink is what they plan on building. But a lot of it just doesn't really make any sense. Like the roads already exist, and it's like, do we really need more freeways? Like I can understand like freeways like going around cities to alleviate traffic and taking trucks off of the main streets, but like some of this is like in like the middle of the country where there's already 4-lane roads. It's like, do we really need more of those? Come on. But anyways, this is going to end in Texas. It's going to go right through Houston, as we were just talking about. Oh, and I want to look into the... Oh, there was something weird about Stephen F. Austin. He attended like some really obscure college. Here, the Transylvania University. This is what it was. He attended this like really obscure college that no one's ever heard of. I'd never heard of it until last year or it wasn't even last year, just a few months ago. I was doing research on the Rangers, and like I don't know if anyone watching this video has ever heard of this university, but you have like all these notable alumni. Like you have all these senators that went there, cabinet member like Jefferson Davis went there. What are some of these names? Do I recognize any of these names? I'm not too much into politics, so I don't know if I would know any of these people, but Maybe some of you guys do. So this because I know that Muhammad Ali's real name is Cassius Clay. Is he related to him? Okay, no, they're not related. Okay, but are they? But they have the same name. That's weird. And this guy's from Kentucky. Wasn't Muhammad Ali also from Kentucky? Was he named after him? Or maybe his dad was named after him? Okay, okay, all right. So he was named in honor of. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so they're not related. Okay. That's very weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's something suspect about this Transylvania University and what their religious affiliation is the Disciples of Christ, and then you got the Society of Jesus being a huge influence. Let's see if that equals any. That's 102 is interesting because Art of War 102. What if you just did Transylvania? Oh, sorry, because last year there was something weird about being. It was 243 years old last year, and I remember that was a factor because 243 is the. Hold on. It's a good way to show this. Let me just click on this random number here. Okay, so we'll type in 243. 243 is 3 to the 5th power. That's right. And Catholic is 35. And the Rangers ended up finishing the postseason with 35 all-time playoff losses. That's what the connection was with that. And yeah, just to show you, Catholic 35. And going back to Google Maps, you got Interstate 35 right here, divides into east and west. Dealey Plaza, where JFK was assassinated, is right there, just a couple blocks away from I-35. Then you got Interstate 45, like how Texas became a state in 45, and it connects the Houston and the Dallas-Fort Worth regions. Actually, I do want to check out something. Let's going back to the Astros real quick. Astros playoff record before 2018. Let's see what their playoff record was. So they won the World Series in their 80th playoff game. Oh, and they finished it. There we go. So when the Astros won the series for the first time, their playoff record was 35 and 45. Again, we were just talking about 35 and 45. That's when Texas became a state. And also another thing so I was talking about Texas or sorry, not Texas, talking about Houston and 31 and 32. Yeah, I was showing you this earlier, but I'll show it again. Houston 31 and 32, right? I was already talking about the Rockets won their 2 championships when Hakeem Olajuwon was 31 and 32 years old. When the Astros won their first World Series, they entered the World Series with 31 playoff wins, meaning their first ever World Series game win was their 32nd playoff win. Now, there's another team in Houston, the Houston Dynamo. Now, let me go. So they won their first MLS championship in 2006. No, it's not on the seat. I'm going to have to go back. I just have to do this. This will be a little slower. Oh, okay. No, now we'll do it. Okay. 2006. Here we go. So they moved from San Jose, and I've talked about this a little bit, but San Jose became a city. Well, I shouldn't really say became a city, but it was founded by the Spanish colonists on November 29th, which is the day leaving 32 days left in the year, as you see there. So the Houston Dynamo won their first ever championship in their first season in Houston after moving from San Jose. And this is what's kind of weird. We look at their head coach at the time, Dominic Quiniar. So when the Earthquakes moved from San Jose to Houston, he had 31 wins as a manager. And how they do points in soccer, you get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. So if we do this here, 31 times 3 plus 23. We'll just do the math right here. 31 times 3 plus 23. Wait, did I not do that right? Oh, shoot. I'm tripping. I thought that was going to be something else. Okay. But anyways, the point stands that, yeah, because I thought it was 112 for some reason, but I must have been thinking of something else. Anyways, he had 31 wins entering his first season as in Houston, and then when the Dynamo won that MLS championship, if you'll see here, so the first playoff series was against Chivas USA. They won that 3-2 on aggregate, and then they won the conference finals 3-1. Again, Houston 31-32. And there's another MLS team in Texas. They're called, I can just find them here. FC Dallas. And the FC Dallas I shouldn't say the FC Dallas, but FC Dallas used to be known as Dallas Burn. For Dallas Burn, it's 32. And FC Dallas is owned by the Hunt family, who also owns the Chiefs. And the Chiefs used to be the Dallas Texans. And if you write out Chiefs, that's 32. I think of it as the Hunt families. There's something weird. There was something here that I can't remember now. Maybe it was the Hunts. No, that's not. There was another connection with, what was it? Maybe it was Lamar Hunt. There was something with the Hunts in 32 that I can't remember now, but okay, I was going to check out Sam Houston's death. So it's on July 26th, 1863. And when was his previous birthday? March 2nd. What about until his next birthday? There we go. Freemasonry 158, dead on the day, leaving 158 days left near. Also dead on 33 date numerology. Like how Masonry is 33. Sorry, Masonry 33. What age did he die at? Died at age 70. Oh, sorry, I wanted to be here. What is the name equal? Yeah, Sammy Houston also 69, like Texas, if I didn't already talk about that. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is, all right, so the Dallas Stars, I talked about this earlier, they won their only Stanley Cup in their 32nd season, and tonight they're playing the Sharks, San Jose Sharks, who they play in the city that was founded on the day, leaving 32 days left in the year. So you have the team that won its only Stanley Cup in their 32nd season, and we're playing on Texas Independence Day 3/2, playing the team that was that plays in the city founded on the day, leaving 32 days left in the year. And there's more to it because, well, okay, this might be a bit. Is it their 30? Yeah, it's okay. It is their 31st. That's not, but it's also their 30th season of play since moving. It's kind of confusing because if you ask anyone on the street that like knows when the Dallas Stars were founded in Minnesota and when they moved to Dallas, if you ask them what season it is, there's 4 potential answers they could give you, because they could give you the answer of 57th season. That includes their time spent in Minnesota, and it includes the lockout of 04-05, or it's their 56th season of play if you want to include Minnesota but not include the lockout. And it's their 31st season if you don't include Minnesota but you include the lockout, and it's their 30th season if you don't include Minnesota and you don't include the lockout. So that's kind of confusing. But also Texas is third, but yeah, 56th season of play. And then you got the San Jose Sharks. So it's their 33rd season, but it's also their 32nd season of play. And what's that? This is their 59th game of the season, founded on 5/9. That's it. And the Sharks and the Stars actually have this weird connection because the Sharks were founded, well, I shouldn't say they were founded. There was an NHL team in the Bay Area called the Seals. And then they moved to Cleveland. But then they merged with the North Stars. And the North Stars, a couple of years before they moved to Dallas, had like this weird thing where they took some of the players. Here it is. And being allowed to take a certain number of players from the North Stars to their. Yeah, and then a couple of years later, the North Stars moved to Dallas. So there's this weird connection between the Sharks and the Stars. And I was just talking about this. There's 32. This whole 32 thing with today and the Sharks and Stars playing each other. I actually don't want to look up the 1998 Stanley Cup playoffs because this was the first ever year that the Sharks and Stars met in the playoffs. Yeah, and it was the first ever year they met in the playoffs. Dallas won the series clinching game 3-2. They also won the first game of the series 4-1, like how Dallas is 41. Dallas is also 113, the 30th prime. I talked about 30 a lot earlier in this video. How many goals were there scored in the series? 5. That's 12, 17, 18. 20, there's probably something about 28 that I can't think of right now. But then I know that they also played each other in the 2000. I want to say it's 2000. Yeah, here we go. So they also played each other in this series, and yeah, Dallas won the final game of that series 4-1 to win the series 4-1. Again, Dallas is 41, and then they also played in 2008. Yeah, I remember this game because it was a Sunday night. My parents told me to go to sleep because it was a school night, so I went to sleep after like the second overtime, and then I woke up and they told me that I think I was almost 11 years old at the time, and I woke up next morning, they told me that we lost, and I was like, but anyways, there were 3-2 games in this series. I shouldn't have closed that, but on the Sharks, on the Stars, you have Joe Pavelski, who used to play for the Sharks. His birthday is July 11th. And if we go from today until July 11th, that is 131 days, which is the 32nd prime number. And I've talked about him before, but you have William Eklund, this guy who I've talked about a lot. He's on the Sharks. And today is exactly 32 weeks before his birthday, and it's 3/2. I believe this is the first ever game he's ever played on 3/2. And just to show you, William Eklund, 56 and 79, just like Society of Jesus. There's the match right there. So his name equals Society of Jesus, and he also wears number 72, like Jesuit order. Also, Jesuit order is why can't I just click on the? You have to click on there. It is 72. Also, his name equals 54. There's this game earlier this year where he scored the game-winning goal in overtime, 5-4, 54 days after, to make the score to win the game 5-4, 54 days after his birthday. And then if you watch the replay, you'll see the puck hit the back of the net with 5.4 seconds left. I mean, come on. Scored by number 72. But anyways, 32 Sunrays on the Jesuit logo is just his last name. Eklund equals 32. Now, I was looking at his stats earlier. Let's go to Hockey Reference. So he has 11 goals total in his career. Now, the thing is, Dallas does equal 13. It's also 41, the 13th prime. So it is... I don't think he's going to score 2 goals tonight to get to 13, but you just look up the Sharks' schedule. So they play Dallas today, and then they also play him in a couple of days. So it's very conceivable that he'll get his 13th goal in a couple of days. His 13th career goal, I should say, in a couple of days against Dallas. Maybe he'll score one tonight, because it is that special day for him, really. It's 32 weeks before his birthday on 3/2. And also the first ever goal that he ever scored in the NHL was to make the score of the game 3-2. I think the first ever goal, if we go to his scoring logs, let's see if it... Here, we'll just pull up this game here. Yeah, so 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. Oh, boom, right there, 3-2. And I believe also his first goal of this year, we go back, yeah, his first goal of this year was against Carolina, and we got 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, boom, right there, 3-2. So his first ever goal in his career was to make the score of the game 3-2. The first ever goal or I shouldn't say first ever, but the first goal he scored this year was to make the game 3-2. We have already established that 32 is a big part of his life and his career. And now he's playing on 3/2 against the team that won the Stanley Cup in its 32nd season, and they're called the Stars because Texas is the Lone Star State. And if I didn't already mention it, Lone Star is 32, and today is Texas Independence Day, which is 3/2. I don't know, I have a feeling it'll be a special day for Willie Mecklin today, but we'll see. Pretty sure I've talked about a lot already today. I don't know if I need to talk about anything more. I've gotten my points across. I talked about... I can pause this.
111 years.
Right now. Talked about all the 32s and the 56s and the 201s and the 30s and the 69s and I don't need to watch this ad. I talked about everything there pretty much is to talk about. I think I can end this live stream. We'll catch you later. Yeah.